What's going on? This is Gengar's watch list. I'm back here with my buddy Gengar, and this week we're going to be going over which anime I'm watching right now, as well as the rankings that are up on the anime subreddit. So I'm actively watching about 14 different anime that are being updated this season. I've also got a couple other that I'm watching that are prior anime that I found and I decided to start watching those as well. So with that, I am not all the way up to date on all the episodes. There are definitely certain ones that I like more than others, and then I'm more motivated to watch those right when they come out. And my list of what I watch doesn't necessarily correspond to the anime subreddit top list, but there are definitely some up there that do. But you can see right here, top of the list. And I'm happy to see it up there. It's always fun when other people enjoy the same things that you enjoy. We've got dandadan right at the top. Number one was number one last week. It's still number one this week. Got Momo, Okaroon, Ira, just a bunch of great characters that we had. Turbo Granny in this week's episode, and it was a lot of fun. I can't recommend this one enough, and I'm always going to be saying good things about this unless something changes. Right now, this one has been really, really good. Now, number two on the list, I am not fully caught up on this one yet, and I don't actually. I know why. I'll tell you why. So this is RE0 season 3, and so this show I really like. This one, we're in season 3 now, as you can see. First couple seasons I absolutely loved, and the problem is with this one, and let me know in the comments if other people feel this way too. I have a hard time wanting to watch the episodes because I'm always afraid that something terrible is going to happen in that episode. Because Subaru has gone through so much in these different seasons. Like, he's died just who knows how many times to accomplish the goals that he has. If you're not familiar with this one, it's basically a guy who is reborn into another universe, but he has no powers, like no abilities. And so his only ability really is that if he dies, he comes back to life. And so he just dies horrible deaths all the time, but he finally starts to have things go his way. Finally his life seems to be going pretty well by the end of season 2. And I'm just afraid that that's going to turn around. And so I'm so afraid to watch episodes because I don't want to see something terrible happen to him. I will force myself to watch it, but that's definitely held me back a little bit. Now, I'm not watching Bleach, so I can't really speak to that one, but clearly a lot of people really like it. I have watched Bleach in the past. I'm not watching, this 1,000-year blood war conflict series. But maybe it's something I'll check out eventually. Bleach always has amazing battle scenes and everything. And so it's a fun one. It's very similar to Dragon Ball Z type style where people just get stronger and stronger. So that's why I tend to lose interest in those over time. It's like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, similar, where you just have characters just keep ramping up, and same thing with Bleach. Now, next we've got Shangri-La Frontier. Now, I'll say this one, I like it. Main character Sunraku, and then he's got his little bunny friend Emul. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a fun show, but it's more like one that I feel like I can just watch at any time. It's not really a thinker. There's not anything really unique about it. It's basically you've got people that are just playing a fully immersed virtual reality game. And they're very good at the game, and it's just how they're trying to work through it. I really enjoyed the prior season, but I'm a little worried that at the rate that it's going, how fast it's going, that it's just going to take forever to get through everything they need to do. And so I don't know if we're going to keep getting more seasons. And so that's one of the things that makes me a little nervous about it. But yeah, I mean, if you want to check out something that has some very good battle sequences, you like the virtual reality type game anime, this is definitely one to check out. But it's kind of middle of the road for me on my list of 14 right now. I think I put it ranked at number 8 for me. All right. I did not watch Look Back. This is a movie. This one's been getting a lot of positive talk recently, so definitely something that I might consider checking out. Then we've got Danmachi season 5. Now, this is, I can't remember what the full name is. It's like, would it be wrong if I dated girls in the dungeon? Something along those lines. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons and I really enjoyed them, but it just started to, I don't know, it started to lose its charm for me. I don't know what it was. I think maybe the character just kind of wore on me over time, where he keeps being kind of like acting like this kind of like pathetic type character. And you want him to act stronger and everything. And so I feel like that wore on me. And so I haven't picked this one up for season 5. I might come back and watch it. Like if it's a downtime, if there's a light season of other shows, maybe I'll pick this one back up again, but I have not been watching this one this season. Then we've got Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Now, someone in one of the comments actually mentioned this one to me. So I went and gave it a try. I watched the first episode. I can tell it's something I'd like, but I also feel like it's something that you have to be in the mood to watch. It's a little more serious. It's basically, you could kind of consider it like the Dark Ages, where people are starting to question everything doesn't revolve around Earth, but instead the Earth revolves around the sun. And it's all the persecution and everything that goes with it. And it looks like it's a little more serious anime. So I feel like I got to be in the right mood for it. I think I'll enjoy it. And I definitely will be going back to this one, but I've only watched one episode so far. I'm not watching Ranma one half, so I can't speak to that one. Now, Demon Lord 2099, that one surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like this one as much as I do. I've got it as number 7 on my list right now. It's right in the middle. It's a lot of fun. Basically, you've got a demon lord that was defeated 500 years in the past, and he is reawakened 500 years in the future, and he isn't as powerful. Magic and machines have kind of mixed, and it's him trying to basically get back on top. And he does it in kind of a fun way. He's got to get followers, and he's doing it through basically becomes like a streamer, like doing like YouTube videos almost, but more like a Twitch streamer. And so it's fun. I have enjoyed this one. The animation is pretty solid, and the storyline seems pretty fun. It's a different storyline than what I feel like I've seen lots of other times, and so definitely one that I think is worthwhile. I am actively watching it. When that episode drops, I'm watching those episodes right away. Now, this one I'm not watching, but given the big jump, maybe I might have to. It's jumped up to number 10 here. I'll Become a Villainous. That will go down in history. It's on Crunchyroll, which makes it really easy to watch as well. So that one I'm not watching, but may have to give it a try. Now, Tower of God Season 2. This has probably been one of the biggest disappointments for me this season, other than Blue Lock. Like Blue Lock was a huge disappointment for me, which we'll talk about in a moment. I did a video specifically on that one. But Tower of God Season 2, it's something just doesn't feel right with this season. It's like you don't care about the characters as much. The animation is a little different. You don't have the same feel as Season 1. I loved Season 1. Season 1 of Tower of God was one of my favorite shows of that season when it came out. I was looking forward to them every week. It was really unique. Basically, it's about people who are trying to climb this tower to get granted like kind of like an ultimate power, or like the ability to, I think, like get wishes granted, something along those lines. It's been a little bit now since I've watched it, because I kind of gave up on it a little bit, but I really enjoyed it, and I've lost interest. Now I will, again, it's one that I will probably go back to. I will probably end up finishing off this season at some point, but just with the number of other shows that I'm watching right now, it's not dropped, but it's number 14 out of 16 that were on my list. Like it's close. It's close to being dropped. Now, next one here. This is actually number 3 on my list. Let This Grieving Soul Retire. I love this anime. I need to make a specific episode just about this one. So basically, you've got a guy who runs the strongest clan in this city, and all his friends that are super powerful, and he has like no abilities. And it's basically just like how he got to this top. He's like super lazy and everything. But I feel like, I mean, I don't read the manga, so I can't say, I don't know any history. It's like he has an ability. It's like it's like luck. It's like if luck was an ability, that is his ability. But all his friends are just super powerful and everything. This one is fun. I really enjoy it. Animation is super high quality. It is a unique approach to these kind of like fantasy realm type anime. I definitely recommend this one. It's got some great humor to it as well. So yeah, Let This Grieving Soul Retire. Definitely recommend checking that one out. One of my favorites. Number 3, like I said, number 3 on my list for this season. Only behind Dandadan and one other that we'll get to in just a moment. Then we've got Blue Lock Season 2. I already made a video about this. I've dropped this one. The animation it's all like the stop motion stuff through this one is really been disappointing. And I mentioned before that just the characters themselves, I don't care about the characters in the second season. Maybe I'll come back to it, but this one is number 15 on my list. So it's off. Like it's off. I have not been watching it. But we'll see. I'm not watching Dragon Ball Daima. I don't know if anybody else watching that one. I like Dragon Ball stuff. I mean, I've watched a lot of Dragon Ball over the years, but this one I decided not to pick up. I'm also not watching 365 Days to the Wedding, so I don't know anything about that one either. All right, so that's number 15. Let's jump up to the top. So we're at 16. I am not watching One Piece. I have seen a decent amount of One Piece, but I'm not huge into it. I definitely have not watched the 1,000 or whatever plus episodes, but I've seen scenes. I'm relatively aware, but yeah, I'm not watching One Piece. Sword Art Online, the Gun Gale Online season 2. I really like this show. I really enjoyed season 1. I mean, I know it's the show that people love to hate, Sword Art Online, but I really like it. I enjoyed that whole everything with it. I think they've got another season still coming, but this is basically where they've taken one of the arcs from Sword Art Online and expanded on it. And the characters are fun. The storylines are fun. I generally like this one. I have it as number 5 on my list of 15 that I'm watching right now. I'm not watching Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister, so I can't really speak to that one. And I am not watching 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. Now, here we've got number 20 on the list is actually my number 2. So this is The Most Notorious Talker Runs the World's Greatest Clan. I really like this one. Now, the big thing that I like about this, and I talked about this in another video as well, but I like the fact that the main character in this, again, this is kind of more of a fantasy vibe type one where they're adventurers and all of that. And in this world, they're called seekers. But he is not a good guy. Like he's someone who will do whatever he has to do to get ahead. And that can be kind of bad stuff. You know, like he sold. Now, granted, usually when he does something bad to someone, they've done something bad to him first. Like a couple of his partners turned on him and he ended up basically selling them into slavery to get his money back. And so like things like that, like he's not a great guy, but I enjoyed the animation from it. I enjoy the different approach with this one. So definitely recommend this show. This is my number 2. Like of all the shows, of the 16 shows that I've watched this season that have episodes coming out, Most Notorious Talker, my number 2 show. I'm not watching You Are Miss Servant. I do have this one on my watch list, but I have not started watching this one yet. I don't know if I will, but it's on there. It's waiting. We'll see. We'll see if I do. Now, the next one here, I haven't picked up this season yet. And part of the reason was I didn't know a new season had dropped. So this is From Commonplace to World's Strongest, season 3. I loved this show. Like season 1 was fantastic. I really liked season 2. So I was looking forward to season 3. I just didn't know it had dropped. And so I was checking out these these anime lists and I was like, oh man, like this show is back. And so I do need to really get back into that one. So right now I just have it as number 11 on my list because I can't speak to it. It may jump way up, but this one I really enjoy. I like the premise of it. Basically, that this one guy got super powerful when he was pretty much left for dead, and so it's been a good one. Now I don't know how season 3 is going to be. We'll see, but I definitely can recommend seasons 1 and 2. I really enjoyed both of those. Now, the next one here is actually number 16 on my list. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Mecha Ude, so Mechanical Arms. I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I don't know. The character isn't doing it for me. The main character is just more obnoxious than anything to me, and so I've just kind of given up on it. And so this is one that I'll give a lot of shows a try. And this is one I gave a try. I gave it a few episodes and the character just did not speak to me. And so I ended up dropping this one. I do have this one on my watch list, but I haven't seen anything from it. Negative Positive Angler. It's basically, I believe it's a fishing anime. It's always interesting. You got these different types of anime that come out, but I'm not watching this one yet. Can't speak to this one. Not watching the Magical Girls Inc. So can't speak to that one either. And I am not watching Yakuza Fiance. Now, one I am watching here is number 26, As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. Season 2. Now, I really liked season 1. So basically, you've got this guy who he doesn't really have any powers himself, but he can see the potential of other people. And so he ends up basically he eventually becomes a lord, and he has brought these people in that are going to really help him rise up in the world, as you can see from the name. But season 2, it's almost like it's lost its edge. Like everything seems too happy and too perfect for him, and he's a little too idealistic. Like I don't know. I'm still watching it, but I'm losing interest. It's down at number 12 on my list. Like it's actually below a show that I haven't even watched an episode yet. And so, yeah, I mean, I highly recommend season 1. I really enjoyed season 1, but season 2 I've been losing some interest in it. We'll see. I will still probably stay with it a few more weeks, but I don't know if I'm going to continue with that one. I'm not watching The Do-Over Damsel, and I have not started season 2 of Sengoku Yuko. Sorry if I'm pronouncing things wrong. I really enjoyed season 1. I don't know why I haven't started season 2. I actually can't tell you why. I have no idea why I haven't started season 2. But I did really enjoy season 1 of it. I highly recommend season 1. Basically, it's about kind of like call it like spirit beings, and they're traveling around trying to like rejoin humanity with spirits because they're kind of at battle right now. But yeah, I generally enjoyed it. Animation is really solid. Felt a lot like Inuyasha, like similar style anime to Inuyasha from way back when. But yeah, I generally enjoyed that one. I will probably give it a try again. But then last one here, and then I've got a couple that are on my list that actually aren't on here. So we've got Spirit Chronicles season 2. So I hadn't seen the show before, and when season 2 came out, I just started watching season 1. So I finished all of season 1. I'm caught up through season 2. And another one that I really enjoyed season 1, I'm losing a little interest in season 2. Right now, I have this one on my list as number 10 out of the 16. So at the end of season 1, like it probably would have been much higher. But season 2, basically what the idea is here, and I like that they took a different approach to the isekai type stuff where it's like reborn in another world or transferred into another world. Basically, a guy dies and his memories get put into, it's basically kind of like his memories get put into somebody who already exists in this world, but that person has their original memories too. And is actually more that original person. They just happen to have this like memory now of this person that used to live in another world in Japan. And I really liked that. I thought that was unique in how like this person's memory and history was influencing this character moving forward. But season 2 brought in some new characters that it just feels, I don't know, feels kind of like a stretch, feels a little weird. Like I'm not enjoying season 2 as much. I liked it more when it was like this new character in this world, and now they're bringing in more people from his world. And I don't know. I don't like it as much. We'll see. I'll probably stick with it. It's not enough that I don't want to keep watching, but I'm definitely losing a little bit of interest. But season 1 was fantastic. Definitely recommend season 1 of Spirit Chronicles. Now, there were 2 that were on this that I'm watching right now that aren't on this list. One of them is actually my number 6. And so I'm going to go over to Crunchyroll here. So one of them is this one right here. So this is the healer who was banished from his party is in fact the strongest. I like this one so far. Like I said, it's number 6 on my list. It's got good animation. I like the storyline. It's kind of like you got a character who's actually very powerful, but people didn't realize he was powerful, and he gets kicked out of his party and these kinds of things. But yeah, I don't really know where it's going yet. They've implied some interesting things, like that he may have some hidden powers that may be evil. I don't know. But I've liked this one. Definitely one that I would recommend, and I'm still watching. So number 6 on my list right now, but isn't actually on the Karma ranking on the anime subreddit. And the last one is number 13 on my list. This one, I don't know if I'll be sticking with it or not. Let's see if I can find it. I haven't watched an episode for a little bit. Yeah, it's this one right here. So I've watched the first 2 episodes. There have been 4 more I haven't watched. Or no, I watched the first 4 episodes. There have been 2 more that I haven't watched yet. So this is Goodbye Dragon Life. Basically, you've got this dragon that was killed and he was reborn as like a normal person. And it just, this one feels like it's just by the book, you know, like a by the book anime, that it nothing feels like really unique about it. And so it's one where you'll enjoy it, you know, if you like fantasy and the adventure type stuff and magic and that kind of thing, which I do. Like, I generally enjoy that. And so that's why I'll keep watching it, but it's not anything groundbreaking. At least it hasn't felt that way yet through 4 episodes. Not anything to me like, I mean, like dandadan feels completely different and new. I really enjoy that. Notorious Talker, I really like, because it's like a different angle where that the main guy is more evil to get what he wants. The Let This Grieving Soul Retire has a great mix of comedy, and it's just a different angle where the lead guy just like, is kind of like fumbled his way into success. And so all those are up there because there's something unique and new that I haven't seen a million other times. And this one feels like something I've seen a million other times. But I mean, that's just the stuff I like, so I'm still gonna watch it, but it's not a priority for me. But those are the anime that I'm watching right now, the ones that I've dropped. I only have so much time, so you know, this is what I have time for within a given week. I try to play. I sometimes have to play catch up as seasons transition over, or with ones I haven't been able to watch yet. But let me know in the comments. Are you watching any of these? Are there other ones that you're watching right now that you really enjoy? And me and Gengar, we'll see you on the next one.